The Spaces tab provides a location for you to manage the collaborative workspaces you have created or joined. Since the function of each space will be different, as well as your role in it, you can use the Spaces tab to prioritize your spaces. For example, you may need to devote a lot of attention to the activity in a space you created to lead a project, while you spend little time in another space you joined simply to access files. The Spaces tab is your gateway to staying up to date on both types of spaces. It's also where you join or create new spaces. Let's take a closer look at some of the features here. If your list of spaces is long, use the filter to locate a specific space. Type in the name or part of the name to filter out spaces that don't match the criteria. From the top of the list, you can view the total combined storage space used by your files and discussion topics in all of your spaces. Your organization purchases a set amount of storage space, and your administrator can choose to use it across the organization on a first-come, first-served basis, or can choose to set storage limits for each user. If your administrator chooses this option, you will be notified when you reach your storage limit. New invitations to join spaces appear at the top of your list. Spaces are private, and you must receive and accept an invitation in order to access the space's files, discussions, and other collaborative tools. You may receive space invitations in emails, instant messages, or desktop notifications. However, until you take action on the invitation by accepting or declining it, it will appear in your Spaces list under the New Invitations heading. Double-click on the space name to take an action on the invitation. Note that if you choose to ignore an invitation, it will still appear in your Spaces list until you accept or decline it. Favorites is a default group where you can organize the spaces you work in most often. By default, My WebEx is the first space listed under Favorites. Note that you cannot delete this space or move it to a different group on your Spaces list. Double-click on it to access your own personal space and take advantage of tools to manage activity across all of your spaces. There are no other members of this space, and you can customize it as you'd like. You can also maintain a personal set of files here that no one else can access. By default, when you join a new space, it will appear under My Spaces. This group is convenient for spaces you may not need to access every day. However, for quick access to an important space, simply drag it to your Favorites group. You'll be able to identify your role in a space using the icons that appear next to the space name. As the owner, you can edit or delete a space, assign roles to space members, and participate in space activities. Each space can only have one owner. As an administrator, you have the same privileges as an owner, except the ability to delete a space. The space owner is responsible for assigning the administrator role to members. A space can have multiple administrators who can help manage and configure the space. Members participate in space activities, such as adding, editing, downloading, or removing files, and creating discussion topics. They cannot invite contacts to join or edit the space configuration. If you do not see the owner or administrator icon next to the space name in the list, your role is a member in the space. Finally, administrators and owners can choose to upload an image to personalize the space. If they have done so, the image will also appear next to the space name.